Picture yourself working your entire life to keep your family land safe, only for a bunch of suited individuals to arrive one day and insist you sell it or else. They assumed I was nothing more than an old rancher. What they had no idea about was the fact that their entire community was situated on my land. My name's Jack Morrison, and I've lived on the same 200 acres of fields, hills, and the old red barn my grandfather built with his bare hands. That land wasn't just dirt, it was legacy. But to the local HOA, it was prime real estate for their cookie-cutter paradise. It started with polite letters, then came the fines, and finally the harassment. They even went after my daughter, telling me that I was destroying the community. One morning, the HOA president, Karen Whitfield, what a coincidence that her name seemed to imply trouble, drove up in her gleaming SUV and said, "Mr. Morrison, you need to sell. We voted. It's unanimous." I laughed in her face and said, "Lady, this ranch was here long before your subdivision had plumbing." She smiled and said, "Then we'll make things tough." And she wasn't joking, things got nasty quick. Weeks later, I got their so-called final offer. I pulled right up to their swanky clubhouse, stared Karen in the face, and said, "You may want to see who really owns the land you're sitting on." The room fell silent when I dropped a folder of land deeds on the table, signed, sealed, and official 50 years ago. As it turns out, my grandfather never sold that land to developers. He leased it, which meant the entire HOA neighborhood was still sitting on Morrison property. And that lease? It ran out last month. Technically, they were all trespassing on my land. Their faces went white, phones appeared, lawyers were summoned, panic descended on the room. I could have evicted the entire HOA, all smug homeowners who'd attempted to intimidate me from my own land. But I didn't. Instead, I did something better. I dissolved their HOA, no more fines, no more power trips, no more Karen rules. I gave them reasonable leases with one stipulation: live in harmony or depart. The transformation was immediate: children once again playing in the yard, families tilling gardens, and for the first time in years, the community felt like, well, a real community. Karen, she disappeared. And me? I remained forever on my porch each night, watching my grandson catch fireflies in the pasture, grateful that I refused to back down. For sometimes the ones they're trying to break are the ones keeping it all together. What would you have done? Like, comment, share, and subscribe to Neighbor Wars HQ, where the little guy always wins big.